There's a specific feeling we all have right now. It's the feeling that the price on the shelf isn't the price you'll pay at checkout. It's the feeling that the bag of chips is lighter than it was last month, but the price is the same. It's the suspicion that the customer service agent you're chatting with isn't a person at all, but a bot designed to stall you. We used to call this bad service. Now there's a different name for it, a crisis of grievance. 61% of people globally now hold a moderate to high sense of grievance against business and government figures. We aren't just annoyed, we feel tricked. We feel like we're experiencing economic gaslighting. And today, we're going to break down exactly how companies broke our trust, the operational shifts that drove it, and why some massive brands are suddenly scrambling to win it back. I'm Jeff Galak, a professor at Carnegie Mellon's Business School, and you're watching Galak Breaks It Down, where I provide the key insights into the latest business and global news. Today, we're talking about the trust deficit, why consumer trust has collapsed, and why it has evolved from a soft brand metric into a critical operational asset. To understand why trust collapsed, you have to look at the mechanics of how companies are now interacting with us. It starts with what I call the algorithm effect. For years, we worried about hackers stealing our data. Now, the fear has shifted. We're worried about the companies themselves using our data against us. Recent research shows that 62% of people feel that they've become the product. And they aren't wrong. Regulators have released findings on something called surveillance pricing. This is where retailers use your personal data, your location, your browsing history, and even what device you're holding to set a specific individualized price just for you. It's not one price for everyone anymore. It's the highest price you are willing to pay. This has triggered a massive backlash and even legislative action. And then there's shrinkflation. While inflation rates have stabilized, the experience of value has degraded. In 2025, 75% of grocery shoppers reported noticing shrinkflation. But it goes deeper. We're also seeing skimpflation, where the quality of ingredients quietly drops while the branding and pricing stays the same. For 74% of Americans, quality is the primary driver of loyalty. When you degrade that, you aren't just cutting costs, you're severing the relationship. This matters because the cost of losing trust has become immediate and steep. We are seeing a phenomenon called silent churn. 82% of consumers report abandoning a brand in the past 12 months specifically due to trust or privacy concerns. They don't complain, they don't write a review, they just leave. And this is creating a switching economy. 76% of consumers say they would switch to a brand that offers more transparency regarding data and AI, even if it costs more. Think about that. In an economy where everyone is price sensitive, trust has become a premium feature worth paying for. It also matters because of the AI replacement backlash. Consumers are increasingly siding with employees. We view AI replacement as a breach of the social contract. We saw this with high-profile backlashes against companies using uncreative AI advertising. Consumers value human effort as a premium attribute. When you remove the human, you remove the value. So let's go deeper into this empathy gap. Companies thought AI would make them more efficient. Instead, it made them deaf. Take Klarna as a prime example. Between 2022 and 2024, Klarna cut about 700 jobs and replaced them with AI customer service agents. On a spreadsheet, this looked like a genius move for efficiency, but in reality, it led to a decline in service quality and a spike in customer frustration. It got so bad that the CEO had to admit that cost was too predominant an evaluation factor. They had to pivot and start rehiring humans to fix the service gap. This is a classic case of what I call efficiency blindness. You optimize the operation, but you kill the experience. Then there's the legal side of trust. Look at Adobe. In 2024, they updated their terms of service in a vague way that made creatives terrified that their work was being used to train AI. It caused a massive revolt. Adobe had to rewrite the terms to be explicitly clear, adding language that stated that they do not train generative AI on customer content. The lesson here is simple. Vague legal language is no longer acceptable. Consumers demand technical truth. So how do companies fix this? The data shows that the only way back is radical transparency and correction of errors. Look at Frito-Lay. After getting hammered by consumers for shrinkflation, they didn't just issue a press release and apologize, they explicitly reversed course. They announced that they were adding 20% more chips to bags of popular products. Why did this work? Because it was a tangible admission of guilt. It was restitution. Here's the big picture. We're living in an environment of scam fatigue. 80% of global consumers received a scam attempt in the last year. We're tired, we're suspicious, and we feel a loss of agency. But here's the good news. Trust is the currency of power. As we saw with Frito-Lay and Adobe, organized consumer grievance works. When we withdraw our trust and our dollars, companies are forced to change. If we demand technical truth in our terms of service, they have to give it to us. If we reject surveillance pricing, regulators will step in. For companies, the message is clear. If you try to optimize for deception, you will lose. For consumers, the message is even simpler. Your skepticism is your shield. Keep using it. Because by demanding trust, we force the market to innovate in ways that benefit people, not just algorithms. As always, thanks for joining me on Galak Breaks It Down.